Hello, friends and enemies. Welcome to or back to Happy. Hello, friends and enemies. Welcome to or back to Happy for Now. It's me, Isabel, here with a ARC vlog. So I wanted one of my early vlogs in 2024 to be me reading a lot of my ARCs for the first quarter. And I read about half because I had a lot for March. So you will be getting a part 2. I'm telling you that right now. Part 2 is coming. This is also like a low-key collab with Shay over at Shay Geeks Out, in part because of the challenge we've hosted the last 3 years, which is called Read What You Own, where you try and read down books that you own, and we gave ourselves challenge prompts for every other month to read towards. So one of the prompts, I was like, hey, I'm doing this already, do you want to do ARCs? She was like, absolutely. So here we are working on ARCs, and I'm not going to tell you my Netgalley percentage or how much I grew, because you will get that in my update for Netgalley, but I will tell you this has boosted my Netgalley so much, and I'm very happy about it. But I had I had 7 ARCs that I tried to read in this vlog, and I have about 7 more I have to read for part 2 that you will get later this month or early February. It just depends on when I finish these books. I have 6 for part 2. So 13 ARCs for the beginning of the year is banana pants to me. But yeah, I have 13 ARCs coming out across the next 3 months for y'all. Again, 7 here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just send you right on to the first book, which is the newest, Wayward Children by Shauna McGuire. That is Adrift in the Clean and that is Adrift in the Currents, Clean and Clear. So that'll be your first video book here, and then every other one is time-stamped, and I kept it pretty low-key on the spoilers. So enjoy, have a good time. I will see you on the other side. Okay, our first 2025 ARC is in progress. I am now 23% into Adrift in Currents, Clean and Clear by Shauna McGuire. This is book 10 in the Wayward Children series, which I'm not seeing anything if this is truly the final or if they've extended the contract. So I'm very curious to see how this wraps up. I will keep this as light on the spoilers as I can for y'all, but at 23%, I really like Nadia. I think it's a fascinating setup here because she is someone with limb difference. So one of her arms, she's missing like the bottom half. And she's from Russia, and she's been adopted into the US by this very like churchy family, kind of, it seems, who really wants to keep up their image. And in doing so, like, she needed to learn English quickly and transition into being this perfect little adopted child very quickly. And I think that's fascinating to see. I also think it's really, really interesting overall how it's unfolding so far. So we are just now entering part 2, and I'm really curious to see where this is going to go. Like, I'm really curious to see what her portal is. I have a feeling I know it's going to involve water and tortoises because she loves tortoises. But at the orphanage, even, she was like kind of a shepherd to these other children and would help them get adopted and stuff, which I think is like precious, but also like so sad at the same, like, all of it's sad obviously, but that's what these are. They're like sad portal fantasies, but also like really poignant and beautiful. So yeah, I am 23% in. It just said part 2. It's chapter 4. So I am going to keep listening, and I will update you in a bit when I'm probably 75% or further. Maybe when I'm done, who knows. Okay, so I just finished Adrift in the Currents, Clean and Clear. This one, Shauna McGuire. Just finished it. Like, pulled into park, and the book ended. I love the Wayward Children series, and I feel like if you have liked them, you will like this one. I think this one is extra spectacular. It gives a lot of vibes of some of the earlier books when we got to go to the different worlds and stuff more. Or not like the middle books, not early books, like the middle books. And this was just fantastic. I thought it was a really engaging read. I thought it was really interesting how it played out. I felt like Nadia was such an interesting character. This world felt fresh and different. I had so much fun. This was easily a 5-star for me because I just love this series. I'm also very, very into this series. I very much constantly enjoy this series. I find it engaging to read, to listen to. I find them revisitable, like rereadable. Like, I can 100% reread the entire series start to finish in like a week or 2 and be happy about it. So I love it. I think it's really, really good. And I'm so happy to have finished my first 2025 arc. That feels really good too. I will probably be diving into another one that is an audiobook here shortly while I do some shopping. But yeah, I had a good time. I don't think I have anything else right now. I don't have big thoughts besides like it was a 5-star. I loved it. Fantastic. Oh, the audio narration. I do want to talk about that for the new Wayward Children. The audio narration on this one was also fantastic. And I don't want to spoil it because like these are so short. There's not a ton I can tell you, but I really liked the underwater world setup here. I just thought it was really, really neat. And also the limb difference stuff was really interesting to have, and how she kind of never noticed it until other people started to make it a thing. And I just feel like that's so true of childhood and, you know, having these things. I swear to God, this lady backing up hits me. Anyways, I'm gonna go into Barnes. I'll talk to y'all soon. So I started Let's Call It a Truce. This is out in January 14th, and my initial thoughts at like 20% in, I'm liking it. It's very fun. This follows Julianne, I think is her name, who is a widow. She's curvy, plus size-ish person who has 2 children. She left the workforce like 7 years ago. And that's where we start the story, is like her returning to the workforce after 7 years because she left to raise her kids. But then her husband dies, so she has to go back to work. And she goes back to work for one of her old bosses and sees her like nemesis, who's also friends with one of her friends, kind of situations. Ben, his name's Ben. Her dead husband, I think, is Jacob. Ben is and her kind of have this chemistry, but also clash. And then we like jump forward 2 years, and they're having to work on this project together. And there's just the chemistry, the tension continues, and it's been really fun so far. I'm enjoying it. Her kids are cute in the book. Like, they're not annoying. They're present enough that I'm not like, who the fuck has her children? Because like it's kind of shown on page like that the grandparents often help out and things like that. It was really cute because he met both of the kids, and you could tell he was just being super sweet with them. Like, and she was just like, don't be nice to my children because you're an asshole. So we love to see that. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's cute. I'm curious to see where it goes. You're going to see a hair change after this. It's not going to be drastic. It's me. I chop off like half an inch, and have bangs again that are like a little more styled. So yeah, I will be back with that very soon. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited to see how that goes. But yeah, I am gonna go do that because I need to leave here. But yeah, I'm enjoying this so far, and I'm gonna keep listening to it today. Audiobook narration has been fantastic. This is a romance debut, and I'm gonna try and keep track of debuts this year because I would like to see how many new to the genre authors I read, to be honest with you. New to me and new to you. So we're gonna do that. Anyways, I will be back in just a little bit. It's so cloudy out. The light is terrible today, but I am 80% into Let's Call Truce. We just had our third act situation, our third act breakup happen, and I think I'm okay-ish with it. We're gonna see how it's resolved. We've dealt with an issue they've had around the fact that like our heroine is like helping in this new intern initiative, and this person has decided it's like reverse racism. That entire plot point to me has been amusing because it's absolutely something that would happen in corporate America at times, but also like it's a white lady writing it, so I don't know, it just feels but so far I'm overall still really enjoying this book. I think it's been very, very, very fun to read, to enjoy, to partake in. But yeah, so the third act breakup has happened. It wasn't what I expected it to be honest with you, so that was kind of nice surprise. What I thought the third act was going to be was just going to be them pulling apart because of her trauma from losing her husband the first time, but instead it was his situation that caused it, and his commitment to his daughter, which again is why I think it makes sense. Even if I don't love it makes sense. So there's that. Anyways, I'm going to finish this up, and I'll be back to update you a little bit later tonight when I finish with my final thoughts and ratings. Okay, so first of all, you're gonna get me here in a lot of updates coming up because I have read a bunch and not updated you at all, because my goal's been reading and I've not picked up the camera. So Let's Call It a Truce. I finished it. Solid 4-star read. I think this is a solid contemporary romance. I liked the setup. I think a lot of it made a lot of sense as far as the third act and how it all was resolved. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. For having some tropes I don't love always, I thought this was really enjoyable. I mostly requested it on the cover. I'm not going to deny that. The cover had me intrigued, so I'm happy overall. I think it had some fun banter. It had some decent steaminess. I had a good time. So yeah, 4 stars. I think I communicated everything else in the clips. We're going to fingers crossed because this is your closeout for that one. On to the next book.
Okay, so I have started, I'm like further into Unromance. I'm like 32% in right now. And I don't even know what I have filmed for this book, if anything, yet. So we're just gonna pretend I haven't filmed anything yet. I'm gonna give you a full summary so far. Sawyer Green is a romance author who's struggling to write her 4th book, and Mason West is a soap opera star. They have a meet cute in the elevator. She makes jokes about meet cutes, and he's a diehard romantic, and she is not a diehard romantic as a romance author, which, like, relatable. I am not someone who, like, is anything like this character who just, like, everything can be a romance. He's head over heels instantly. So he is trying to get over this breakup from his ex, who's like moved on, not very quickly. Like they both were in denial while they were long distance, basically, kind of. But anyway, she's like already engaged and stuff. So he and Sawyer come to an agreement because she needs help writing her book and overcoming her writer's block upon their second meeting to lay out some ground rules. My favorite thing. I love some ground rules in a romance. That is, we're not going to bang, we're not going to kiss, there will be no intimacy, but we're going to do all these romantic things together so she can ruin romance for him and he can help her write her next book. I'm having a blast. It is funny. I've giggled multiple times reading it. I'm just having a good time. I'm really hoping this is a strong first read of the year because I'm going to finish it on the first day of 2025. So fingers crossed. I will be back to talk about it more in a bit. I'm going to lay in bed and read.
Hello, I have big updates. So at some point when I got one of these books, I said, when I read this, I'm not going to stop. And let me tell you, I finished Unromance last night in bed. It was like 11:30. And then I decided I finished Unromance by Erin Connor. 4 stars. I really liked this. This definitely has a lot of miscommunication / like growing through expectations people had of you versus what you want for yourself in a way. And expectations of what a relationship can or cannot be. Learning to live. I've got coffee in my Halloween cup because I made a new pod today and it's okay. But coffee, I need it. Anyways, it's kind of a lot of miscommunication around that. And if you do not like a referential work, like something that references a lot of things, like rom-coms, this is not for you. But if you are a rom-communist like myself, as Ted Lasso calls it, this might be for you. This just might be for you. I had so much fun with this book. I really liked Mason and Sawyer, our hero and heroine. I really liked how it unfolded. I felt like their miscommunications and missteps, it made sense for them as characters. Like, it fit into the story. The way the references to rom-coms were done was hilarious. Her grand gesture at the end was adorable. But also there was a whole theme of like talking to your exes kind of and finding out why it didn't work. And I feel like they both had big revelations from that. And I think that was like a really good self-growth moment and something we don't often see in contemporary romances especially. So this was fun. This is a solid 4-star. Solid 4-star. I do recommend. I think if any of the things I say about it sound appealing to you, you will enjoy this book. I was I was optimistic going in. Someone I trust a lot liked this book. So I was like, I think I'll like this too. Also, it was moderately, it was pretty spicy for a modern contemporary romance. You know what I mean? It delivered more than I expected. But I finished that and I was like, well.
I'm also listening to She Doesn't Have a Clue at the same time as reading Unromance, and I'm 22% into that. I was listening to it this afternoon while I prepped food for tomorrow, and She Doesn't Have a Clue was interesting. This is a rom-com romance mystery situation. She is on an island with her former friend and someone she ghostwrote some books for, and her ex. And it's going to be her ex's wedding weekend. And the crazy aunt who has control of this family's trust and stuff has declared that the trust is going to dedicate the island to the city or whatever, or the state, to take care of it like the Vanderbilts have done. So I'm very interested in how this is going to go. But so far, I'm intrigued. She also has writer's block. So this is a weird tandem thing happening here with writer's block, but I'm intrigued. I'm really enjoying this so far. And I'm very, very, very intrigued to see what happens. The battery's flashing. I'm going to go get the other battery and I'm going to read because we have an hour and 10 minutes until midnight in Central Time, which means the new year is almost here. And I would love to do nothing else but bring the new year in via reading a book. So we're going to do that. All right, I'll be back.
The other book. So I also finally finished She Doesn't Have a Clue now. I did listen to this via audiobook, and y'all, if you like me, dabble in mysteries and you like a romance, this might be the perfect book for you. This might be the perfect book for you because we follow our writer friend through her solving this mystery, and truly I was on my toes the entire time. I didn't really know who did it until it was revealed, so that was fun. I also felt like it was way more fun following a character who didn't know how to be a detective than it is sometimes to follow a character who knows what they're doing, and that is this entire book. We are following our heroine, our main character, fumbling repeatedly over and over and over again, trying to navigate what is going on and who's sabotaging her, and also getting a lot of really interesting reveals around Jake, who is this hot Australian that she knew, and why they had their kind of falling out of sorts, and also what her ex, who's the one getting married, has done to semi-sabotage her, and then like a lot of revelations around the publishing company she's at. Yeah, it was really fun, like really, really fun and really, really interesting, and I truly had so much fun with this. Like, I was having a blast while I went shopping today and listened to this book. Like, I just had so much fun. It was a good time to be had. So yeah, I definitely recommend this one. I think this is another great one. This was a solid 4-star for me. Strong debut, so we'll take that. That's a win. And yeah, on to the next books. The next one on the list is Spiral. And when I got Spiral, I was like, as soon as I read this, I will not put it down. And boy, was I up until 4 in the morning. Grumps, if you're watching this, I was definitely not up till 4 in the morning. That's a lie. He was, at one point, he did wake up while I was reading. He was like, "Are you awake reading?" I was like, "Yes." But I was also like overheating for whatever reason last night. So I just kept going, and I made it like very far into Spiral. So I need to catch you up very quickly because I have to run errands, and then I'm going to film and then finish this book. So I'm 71% in. Spiral is about Eli, who is Aiden's best friend in Collide, and about our girl Sage, who is an aspiring ballet dancer. She has done a lot. Her uncle is the general manager of the hockey, the NHL team that Eli plays on. And the reason I forgot who Eli was for a hot second when I read the description, I was like, I know who this is, but I don't know why my brain is not connecting. It's because he has his full name and then his like nickname that he goes by, and he goes by Eli mostly. So that's why my brain was like, wait, who is this? I'm confused. But Sage is somebody who has never really been able to have friends and all these things because she's always been picking up the pieces of her family and taking care of her little brother. And Eli is like being billed as this playboy that he is not. And we get some revelations around that are fascinating. But yeah, he's being billed as this playboy that he is not. And part of that has to do just with like a video of his that went viral. So they end up fake dating because it's going to help her ballet career and help her get noticed by the whatever ballet theater group she wants to join. And so yeah, they enter into this deal. But he is also like delightfully dominant in like really fun ways, I feel like. I don't know how else to put it. Like, he'll just be like, "No, you're gonna sit here," and she'll just sit there, and it's like she sees such comfort in him. She's somebody who like doesn't sleep well, you know, is very stressed all the time, is struggling to get by and to get her brother through high school. He's going to like a private prep school. Her uncle is paying for that. She just like refuses to accept help because like if she accepts help, what happens if it crumbles? Which like absolutely valid and very relatable statement at times. Yeah, so it's their fake dating. They end up living together. Of course, there's only one bed, so they sleep in the same bed. But it is this is like a horny slow burn. I don't know how to explain this. Like, they have not been like fully intimate, but they have done things together. More specifically, he has done things to her, and that has been it's been delightful. Absolutely delightful. But yeah, he's just trying to rehab his image and like make his first goal in his NHL career, and he finally does. And then, oh no, her ex-boyfriend on and off for a couple of years shows up and is transferred to the team, and her uncle, who is the general manager, obviously is like a fan of him and really thinks they should be together and not her and Eli, which is really fascinating to watch unfold. Yeah, I could not stop. I didn't want to stop, but I was like, you have to go to sleep. You have to go to sleep. You have things to do tomorrow. So I went to sleep, and now I'm like dangling this book in front of myself because I know that as soon as I get done with the video I need to film and these errands I need to run, I can read this book and I will finish it in like just an inhale of a moment, you know? So yeah, really exciting.
to read this and to enjoy it, and just I love this. Also, we get so many cameos of the hockey house and the guys and Summer from book 1, and I just like, they immediately accept Sage. They are just like, you're in the group, you have friends, like, and I love that. It's so precious. And yeah, even her brother's like texting Eli, which is also freaking adorable. But yeah, oh my god, I'm obsessed. Okay, I'm gonna go so I can actually like read this sooner, because that's all I want to do. So first up, I finished Spiral last night, and it was so good. If you liked Collide, you're gonna like Spiral. I don't know the last like sports romance with this much of a slow burn / like horniness to it. This book is the epitome of like slow burn with horny, and that's the kind of slow burn I like, okay? I love a slow burn that is also like them edging towards like the final implosion of them boning finally. So good. I had so much fun with this. I really loved Sage. I really loved Eli. I think this was just a fantastic read and such a good time. Our 3-year jump forward was also fantastic. It was really cute, really sweet. So yeah, I finished that. It's a 5-star. I loved it. It has the potential to be a favorite of the year. I will sit on it for a bit because I finished it so quickly that sometimes I feel like I have to process if I think it's a 6-star, and like if it lingers, then it becomes like a 6-star. So had a blast. All right, y'all, I have to update you because okay, so I started Unloved yesterday. At one point, I was just on the couch with Maya. We both started reading our books, and I started Unloved. And I read a lot of Unloved yesterday. This is the new one by Peyton Corinne. We are following the same timeline as Unsteady, but we are following Sadie's roommate, Ro, and Freddie, one of Reese's teammates. Freddie is like a notorious playboy, supposedly, just constantly hooking up with different girls all the time and all this stuff. A known player, so to speak. And Ro is kind of a goody two-shoes. She's a tutor. She's in like medical math science stuff. She's working to get into a PhD program. She has the worst ex-boyfriend / on and off again boyfriend who is very emotionally abusive. He is definitely a gaslight love bomb type. And her and Freddie meet freshman year. We flash forward to senior year, and she is his tutor because the other tutors in the department have failed him. And we are following two people who feel very unmoored in life, very just afloat and here, and maybe nobody really wants me here. And it is so good. Unsteady, also very emotional, and I would say that Unloved is equally as emotional of a read. Not in like a I'm sobbing way, but in a like, this is a bit of a gut punch. This is really enjoyable to read though, and really engaging. I really like the slow build we're having between Freddie and Ro. I also am seeing a lot of parallels to Spiral here with like the slow build, but the reverse is that Freddie is actually a bit of a playboy, versus in Spiral he was not actually a playboy. It was very fabricated by the media. But yeah, Freddie is just trying to get through school. He has dyscalculia, dyslexia, and ADHD, and that has been fascinating as somebody who I at times suspect I have dyscalculia. Yeah, I think that's been really, really fascinating. To read. That's a new representation that I've not read before, like a new disability. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And like the way in which Ro believes in Maddie or Freddie is really heartwarming. And he also believes in her and her abilities. And he also is like over dealing with her shitty ex and the way he's treated her. He's like trying to show her there's better options, aka maybe he's worthy, but he's not sure if he's worthy. Yeah, it has been so good. It has been so emotional and so good. We also, I do want to give a quick content note here on this one also for like death of a parent, which we discussed on page. Also a parent going through a major injury, which is a stroke that has disabled them. For each of our main characters, we've had one and the other. So that does come up in discussion. But it has been so sweet and so good. And I am truly having a blast with this book right now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really excited to finish it tonight. I would have stayed up all night, but we have a guest. So I thought, we probably shouldn't sleep all day. And I'm glad I didn't. So yeah. That's where we're at right now on Unloved. I'm loving it. I think it's also going to, it and Spiral are going on top of my like favorites list right now for January reads. So that's exciting. And yeah, we'll see what happens as I finish these up. I do know Peyton and Bao are friends. So I feel like the parallels in their two stories is just really cute to see also, because like I said, they're friends. So like I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. They're buds, and their stories are kind of reflecting each other's a little bit, but in like a fun way. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. I will be back to talk to you in a bit. I have to update you on Unloved because I finished that book also in the middle of
of night because that's what I do, apparently. But like, not in a bad way. Like, I'm not mad that I finished this book in the middle of the night, but I am glad I finished it. Like, I had 40 minutes left, I think, if that, after sprints on Monday with my members, and 2 books made me cry so far this year, and it's Spiral and Unloved. I do feel like I need to give a big content warning with Unloved here around the grief themes in this book. I really enjoyed it. Still, even with everything I'm dealing with in my life, I felt like the grief things were really poignant and really wonderful to read. We do get a nice, like, 2 flashes forward of them both, like, thriving together and stuff. The grief in particular does deal with our hero losing his mother his freshman year of college, and our heroine's father having a stroke right before she graduated high school. So there's a lot of stressors there. There's a lot going on. But I think it was really great to see 2 people who were very hurt in life and trying to find their place find each other. And it was so good. It was so good. It was so fun. It really also dealt the correct damage to the people who needed to be hurt back, kind of, for their sake, and also gave our character Ro the appropriate amount of friend and like family that she needed. Similar to like I said, this book and Spiral have like a lot of parallels, but I felt like similar to Spiral, this book we got another character who needed more friends, needed people to support her and all that. And I left this also like super excited for Kane's book, who is like our bad boy defenseman, and then our goalie's book also. I'm very excited for those. I need them sooner than later. I'm assuming I have another year's wait. It's fine, but they're all running, I believe, in basically like concurrent timelines, at least for the goalie's book. So I want to see how that plays out, because I think I know who he's with. Like, I'm 99.9% sure I know who he's with now, and I need to see that play out. I think at the end of the day, Peyton Corinne delivers so heavily on emotions and a lot of feelings in a really good way. Like, not in a way where I have left the book feeling emotionally like exhausted and abused, but in a cathartic way almost as a reader. So I cannot wait to read more from her. But yeah, another 5 potential 6-star read. I gotta sit with it some more and I will decide as we get closer, but I loved it. I needed to DNF a book and close this out. So I was reading Wooing the Witch Queen, and when I went to DNF and I saw that Bethany really did like this, so I may return to it at a later date, but I am not in the mood for how slow paced this book is, even though it's pretty short. Like, this is an under 9-hour audiobook and I can't get through it. So I'm DNFing it for now. I may come back because it has a lot of things I like. It has a bisexual heroine, and like, her previous relationship is like talked about on page, and I'm like, hell yeah, I love this. But it is so slow. It is so low stakes due to the writing style, I feel like. And again, that's not always a bad thing. It's just not working for me right now. I think the audiobook narration is pretty good, and I just I'm not reaching for this book, so I don't want to keep dragging it out to try and finish it for the sake of finishing it for the video. So instead, we're DNFing it, because that is the energy we're bringing to 2025, y'all. DNF before we drag ourselves through a thing. I don't know that it would have been a 3-star, possibly. It might have picked up more for me, but I liked our prickly queen heroine. Our hero love interest is on the run from his home country, basically, and is a prince who they're looking for, and that's like really fascinating. But I needed a little more, just a smidge more stakes, and I think I would have been super duper sold on it. And like I said, I may return to this in a month or 2, or when I'm traveling or something and I want something a little chiller. It may hit the spot then. It just is not working for me right now. I'm also reading another fantasy right now, and that could be part of the issue, that I can't always read 2 fantasies at the same time. So that could also possibly be the problem. So this is one that I would say go in with hesitance, but it does seem better than a lot of other titles we've gotten that are fantasy with sprayed edges. On that note, I'm just so happy with everything I read. I thought I would tell y'all what I'm going to read in part 2. I hate that I couldn't do all of this in part 1, but I also realized that's too many books. Like, that is too many books for a vlog video. I would have had to have done like a full-blown sit down, I think, instead. And maybe in the future, if I do have that many to read, I will just do a sit down with y'all and talk through them. I don't know. You can let me know your preferences in the comments if you prefer this style where I pick up the camera as I'm reading, or if you want like me to sit down and review them for you, like in a batch. I could do either. Honestly, I have no direct preference. I just find this format sometimes easiest overall. But yeah, that's everything I read so far. I'm really excited for some of these to come out and be able to talk to them about them with people. I also, the other thing you could let me know down there is there anything else coming out this quarter that you really want me to read and talk about? Because I can put it in a regular vlog to make that happen. I do tentatively have First Time Caller by BK Borison on my radar to maybe pick up. Maybe. maybe read that in February. I don't know. I'm very intrigued by it. So yeah, but let me know all of that down below. If you don't do any of that, you can leave me a snowflake emoji, because as you're watching this, the next day I'm getting potentially 7+ inches of snow in Middle Tennessee. I will be hunkered in, vlogging and reading, because that is the only way I know how to survive this. So we're ready, kind of. As ready as I can be. I will have links to all of these for you down below, links to my friend anywhere on the internet that I am, and I will catch y'all in just a few days. Bye!
About to leave, already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we wait